Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Veterans Corner. My name's Chuck Woodin, and I'll be your host. We have two special guests here today from the Jima Memorial Historical Foundation, located on actually on the borderline between New Britain and Newington.
That's correct.
You know, it's been a long time coming to have you guys onto the show. We've really been looking forward to having you. Actually, for a couple of years we've been trying.
Oh wow!
Not fitting in a schedule, but we're really happy that you're here. We got Ted Aub. Ted, you've been on the show before.
Yes, I have.
The POWMIAs.
Glad to be back.
Ted is the vice president of the foundation, and we got Ray Carrier, and Ray's the secretary.
Secretary, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm glad to be here.
It's great to have you. It really is, and it's great to have you back, Ted.
Nice to be here.
We're going to be talking about the Iwo Jima Memorial, and there's a lot that people don't know about. There's people that don't know where it is. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go through all that during this show, and hopefully the viewers learn something. Mm-hmm. So
very good.
I touched on the location. Maybe you can talk a little bit more about the location.
Okay. It's the simple manner, exit 29 on off of Route 9, and when you're coming northbound, there's a sign, Iwo Jima Memorial Park, and it sits actually right in front of Central Connecticut State University, and it's very accessible. It's when you're traveling in the evening on Route 9, we have an eternal flame that's on I would say the east side of the park. And it's quite visible, and the park is open 24/7, and we welcome anyone to come and visit, and we have a Facebook page as well to anoint people with information when we're having events. Ray and I are fairly new to the foundation, and it's a work in progress for us, but we're dedicated to disseminate the right information, and he and I have both been involved with different events there together before, and we're comfortable there. So
Changing of the guards.
Changing of the guard,
Changing of the guard.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. Well, you know, I know there's a big history on the memorial as far as, who built the memorial. You want to elaborate on that?
In the early 90s, Dr. George Gentile, who was a survivor of Iwo Jima, decided it was time to have a memorial to honor those that didn't come home. And he got all the survivors all around the country to join and form the foundation, the Iwo Jima Survivors Association. This happens to be one local branch. There's others across the country. This one here, he and his survivors got corporate sponsors to donate services, funds to build this monument. And when they hired a sculptor to copy or make a monument similar to the Iwo Jima War Memorial in Washington. Okay, he reversed the positions of the Marines raising the flag. Instead of facing to your right when you're looking at it, they're facing to your left.
Okay.
Okay, but the monument's the same. It's more compact. In it are stones from Mount Suribachi and sand from the beaches of Iwo Jima. In the foundation, it's the only monument with those two items in it. The mold was unique, and when they were finished with the mold, Marine Corps Base Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii, wanted to duplicate it. They told them, you can use the mold. After you're done with it, it has to be destroyed. So those are the only two like monuments, okay? And they're totally separate from all the other half dozen, well, I'd say there's probably 10 other monuments in the country that have that flag-raising monument.
It's impressive. I mean, I know you can see it heading south on 9.
Yes.
If you're in the right
You're
lane.
You're closer to it, yes.
You can.
Going north, it's the eternal flame is most visible, especially as it gets dark. And there's about approximately 100 flags around the perimeter on the fence.
Exactly 100.
Exactly 100, and they stand for those losses of Connecticut Marines on Iwo
Servicemen,
Jima.
period.
Servicemen.
Yeah, one misconception is that because Marines raised the flag, okay, that it's a Marine monument. No, it isn't. All the services were involved in Iwo Jima, okay? So it's a park for everybody, okay? Not just Marines.
They
But
all
Marines-
played a role.
That's correct.
But
That's
the
correct.
Marines were
Yeah,
actually there.
They were, yeah, they suffered the brunt of it, yeah.
And one thing, you were going to say something, or
Yeah, I just wanted to mention briefly, one of the flag raisers was Rene Gagnon. His son, he of course passed, but his son came down to speak to our last event. And a friend of mine from Washington happened to send me a short story of another of the flag raiser's sons, and he wrote a really nice piece, and I put it on Facebook today, and it raises your skin when you read it. It's a wonderful, wonderful story, and seemed like the father and son had a really great relationship, and he's from Wisconsin, and that stimulated him to doing this story because he goes to Washington on each year, and there were some school children there, and he asked them where they were from, and they said Wisconsin, and he's from Wisconsin. So I don't want to tell you the whole thing, but it's a very wonderful. You will smile at the end of the story. It's a nice, very short story, but it's very factual and very meaningful.
it's very easy to find it. Just go on Facebook.
Yes. They go for the Iwo Jima
Iwo Jima.
Memorial
Memorial.
Foundation, and you'll find it there. I'm a page administrator for the site. So.
Man of many hats.
Many, many,
said that,
many.
not
many.
skilled.
Yes.
You know, one of the things we usually do in the beginning of the show is we ask for, I know you were in the Marines.
Yes, sir.
You do so much for the military, right? You weren't in, were you in the Marines?
No.
Yeah. You might as well have been, because every time I see you, you are right there.
I have some good support. I have
Doing-
some great support people. The one to my right is like a brother to me.
You know, we not only thank you for your service on behalf of Nutmeg, the crew here, and the viewers, we also thank you for everything that you do. I've known you for a number of years now, and you're always right there in the
Well,
middle of
thanks
things.
for that. I think it's important.
Yeah.
I don't have to put any extra effort to do what I do. I have a lot of good people to work with, and with the Marine Corps League, we actually have probably stabilized the monument and the historical society, because I have some really, we work together. We're interested in teamwork, and we're not shy about it. We have no personal interest other than working as a team to accomplish our goals. So
Absolutely.
I expect
Absolutely.
big things from us in the future as far as education, getting different school children up there. You're aware of I think the last time I was here, we had that event at Quinnipiac University where we have 450 school kids come in, and all the VSOs line up around the room, and we have a very short program, but the criteria is that they come and talk with us, ask us questions to find out how and why, and I want them to go home. I gauge my conversation based on go home, talk to your parents and teach them something, and if they can't answer, then go out and find the answer, because it's important that they know what we're all about.
It's important that the next generation is taught.
That's one of the main functions of the Iwo Jima Foundation is a teaching tool to enlighten our youngsters about Iwo Jima and its purpose and its importance. A lot of people, youngsters, don't know that. Okay, Iwo Jima, what's that? Well, we have 7,000 Americans died there.
It's a major part of history that we certainly do not want it to be lost.
True.
From one generation to another.
It's an image thing too, because to disseminate the information about the branches of the service, the opportunities that you have, and the work that we do with, say, our service organization, it's immense. It's enormous. People have a notion that you put on a uniform, picked up a gun, and went into a conflict. That's the smallest part of the whole thing. There's so much more to it. There's a definite respect that's needed for the time put in, the skills that are learned, and the ability, and we're working hard with the service branches to make the transition from combat zone back to the United States better. That's we have a lot of difficulties out there now that are more accentuated due to media and so forth. And our organization is definitely focused on that, and it's important that we get that message out.
It's very important, and it's your positions. You as a vice president, you as a secretary. What's some of your duties in those positions?
Ted first. Okay.
I feel that my position is to support the president and take up the gap for whatever he can't do when he's out of town and so forth. Like he was just out of town for a couple of days, but I mostly feel it's a public relations, the ability to meet with people, to talk to people, to give them the information necessary to come on board with us. And I thought, when I took this position, I wanted to be able to be a little bit further back than the front line so I could get a better overview of it, because at some point I may be the president.
Yeah.
So I'd rather learn all the skills that are necessary.
All aspects of
right, without being, because I think as the president you get a lot thrown at you, and I know you do, and it's important I want to be able to handle that adequately.
You got to be ready for it. Be ready for it.
And basically, my position is I do the letter writing. I keep minutes. I send out press releases, meeting notices, and stuff like that. That's what a secretary does. Okay.
Well, it's in most organizations, it's probably one of the, if not right up there in the top of the most important positions.
Well,
absolutely. There's a lot more to it. His knowledge, ability to speak to people and get along with people, and of course with us too. He has to deal with, our personalities as well as outside, and Ray's excellent at it, and we couldn't have a better person.
And of the many hats that I wear, I've been the adjutant in 3 of the foundations, or 3 of the organizations, and the adjutant basically is the letter writer, the minutes keeper. So I have a lot of experience, 10 years experience doing that stuff.
You keep the president in this particular organization in line in a lot of ways, and the VFW and the American Legion, the adjutant does the same.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah.
It's the adjutant is the right hand man or person for the commander.
But I keep low profile. I don't like to be out front that much.
There's a calmness, that Ray brings, and we don't, jump to conclusions. It's just, it's steady. It's a non-panic type situation, and I think that he definitely provides that for us.
What type of programs and events has the foundation had for the memorial?
Well, let's do it chronologically if we can, okay? Usually the first event is in February, remembrance ceremony for the invasion of Iwo Jima on somewhere between the 19th and usually it's on the 23rd when the flag raising took place, okay? Then we usually have the motorcycle ride.
The lunch.
What?
The luncheon.
The sponsor luncheon. We have a sponsor luncheon for corporate sponsors. We have a candlelight ceremony in August around when Japan surrendered, in that time frame. And then, of course, we do Memorial Day event and Veterans Day events, okay? Ceremonies are in remembrance. And Teddy's very familiar with the word remember because as a POW representative, remember is what this is all about. You need to remember your veterans. You need to remember those that didn't come back. That's the important part. That's why we're here.
And also, last year, Ray and I, we assisted a second lieutenant, 2 second lieutenant promotions at the park.
That's right.
That came down from
Officer commissionings.
Massachusetts.
Officer commissioning.
Young men, 2 young men, and their families and so forth. And that was very, It was a very nice time. Colonel Venditto was our Carl was
Yes.
our
Oh, you
guest
know him.
speaker.
Very
Oh,
good, very good.
And he's active with us as well.
Yes. He's an integral part. Integral part.
Now, if somebody wanted to find out when these activities, events are occurring, it's right on the website, right?
Well, it'll be on the Facebook.
It'll
on
be on the
Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we have to reformulate, get together at the end of, say, December, and do a year's worth of calendar of the definite events that we do. And of course, the ones that do come up, we'd like to at least have a month and a half advance notice for people so they can attend.
Yeah, yeah.
We,
So
we
they
want to
can
bring
plan
the
their
attendance
calendars.
up.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that really get, I'll use the term marketing, you know, for these events, you get the VFW and the American Legion, call headquarters, and
Yeah.
then they can get the word out also to everybody.
Well, we have everyone on the staff is available if anybody has questions. We're going to be on the Facebook page, so our phone numbers and email addresses will be there, and people have questions. We're free to answer anything. Okay.
Well, it's, I can tell you that you monitor Facebook, right? And I'll probably be.
I'm an administrator on the
Yeah.
page.
I'll be shooting you out
Good.
to get on it this evening.
I had a lady ask a question on it actually this morning, and I answered her back. She said there's some families that have bricks that have lost their luster, so to speak, and
Yeah.
they're not as legible. And how do we, can I go up there and paint it? And of course, the answer is no to that because we want some sort of uniformity
Yeah.
with the bricks. And the answer that I received preliminarily was that we have to replace them, which we'll have to come up with a policy on that. This is a work in progress for us, and we're finding out things that we didn't think about because we're just
To come up
assuming
with a
our position.
replacement cost.
Well, if they can't be painted, if the lettering can't be painted to make them bold enough to read, then a replacement is the only other option.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's usually black.
Yeah, black lettering. Yeah.
What are some of the goals or visions that you guys have for the foundation?
We want-
every organization's always looking forward in the future to really.
We're looking to get closer education with the children. We do have a classroom of children that do come up. And as a matter of fact, they were just there in the past couple of weeks.
This morning.
Yeah. This morning, was it? Oh,
Yeah.
so I'm even closer than that. Okay. But they come up and they do a program all by themselves at the monument, okay, which is outstanding. Our endeavor is to educate the youngsters. Okay, that's what we're about.
That should be the primary goal.
And we're finding out that the youngsters are not only little tykes, but they're full-grown adults too that don't know anything about Iwo Jima. Okay, so I found that out also doing one of my other hats. I do a flag education program. Okay, that people all over the world are looking for information about our flag and stuff like that, and we go all over the state teaching them about our flag. We have 18 historical flags that we talk about, and it's
It's a
quite
great
quite
program.
an education.
I'm honored to be part of it, and we've included the POW flag as the last flag, but there's the Marsden flag. There's a ton of them, but Ray is very adept. It has all the information about why the flag came into play and the significant part of our history. So I guess it starts around 1776.
The evolution of it.
And we do that flag program at the Iwo Jima Monument too, on an open house.
Right.
Okay.
It's a great program.
You said you're working with kids. You've got a pretty good relationship with the
Love
schools.
working with the kids, the schools.
With the schools.
Yes.
Board of Ed and all that.
Yeah, yeah. I went to Region 16 Board of Ed superintendent, presented the program to him with the help of my town mayor. Okay, and they bought the program. They intend to use it in their civics classes and stuff like that. Okay. We've been in New Britain, East Granby. I have a unit, one of the units, his unit from Stratford is using it also, as far as I know, Doc Alexander, okay? I have units out in Missouri that are using it, okay?
Wow.
We went, when this flag program, we're talking about the flag program, I want to talk about Iwo Jima.
Yeah.
But the flag program went from Waterbury, it started in Waterbury. The Veterans Committee there in Waterbury developed a program, and it was just about teaching kids how to handle the flag and stuff like that. And when I joined the Veterans Committee there, they said, I asked them, I said, you can't keep this in Waterbury. I said, you got to spread it throughout the state. This is too good a program. The kids in the schools were raising the flag by themselves, folding it, and they held their own programs. We then went to the state convention, the Marine Corps League. They adopted the program. We went to national convention. They approved the program but refused to adopt it because they wanted Connecticut to own it. So we have ownership of the program, and we go anywhere, everywhere that anybody wants to learn about our flag.
You know, you just, I know we got to get back on track. We got just a few minutes left, but you know, that'd be a great topic for another show. Flag etiquette, what you do. I know the other, you know, the VFW and the Legion have programs.
Everybody
also.
does them. Everybody does them. Yeah.
It would actually be a great way to you know, pass that education out to the viewers. What are some of the future new additions to the park, or is it you plan on just keeping it the way it is?
Right now, the park is pretty much set.
Yeah.
The originators considered building a
Visitor center, maybe?
a visitor center, you know, with all this paraphernalia in it,
Yeah.
okay? And some of us feel that an additional building on the lot would detract from the beauty of the park. As you can see in the pictures, the park is quite beautiful just by itself, okay?
Yeah.
And having an outbuilding on the side would detract from its focus of the monument itself.
As soon as you drive in the parking lot, I mean, that's the first thing you see.
That's correct. That's correct. And it's set up beautifully. You have a eternal flame on one side, and you have monuments to the chaplains and medics on the other side. Yeah. And all four sides of the monument have engravings on them. There's a stone out front right at the beginning of the sidewalk that's shaped like Iwo Jima, and it has the attack plan inscribed on it. Okay, so it's quite a unique park, and we love it just the way it is.
Do you have any way to track how many visitors actually show up?
Not really. Not with an open door policy. You can't. You know, because people come in there just to relax and have lunch, and
it's a great location, even though it's right by the highway.
Yeah.
We certainly encourage all the viewers to stop by and see this memorial. It's really a work of art.
It is.
There's a lot of history. Leave yourself an hour just to go around and read everything.
You got a lot of reading to do. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
You know, it's now. Was there a? That's right. There was no website, no email address, but the Facebook.
The Facebook. Yes.
So, those on Facebook, we certainly encourage you to check out the Memorial Foundation. It's you know, hats off to all of you. I know it's a bigger team than just the two of you.
That it is.
And you do good work. It's great, especially the education part of the kids.
We get great satisfaction out of it. Really.
It's rewarding.
Yes.
It's rewarding.
Yeah.
So, want to thank you.
Thank you for
you
having
very
us.
much. I mean,
Thanks for
Thank you
having
for
us.
having us.
25 minutes goes by fast.
It
sure
does.
did,
It goes
yes.
quickly.
It's great to have you back again, and I'm sure.
nice to see you.
Yeah, maybe
Thank you for having us.
And you know, we'd love to have you back again in the future.
Absolutely.
Sure,
Absolutely.
we'd be happy to come back.
You know,
Yeah.
and
If you have
talk more about the programs.
And maybe we can bring some pictures next time.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Yes.
Yeah. I actually had taken some photos and put them on a flash drive. I was going to, but that didn't work out this evening.
We combine with a couple other programs, Quilts of Honor, Quilts of Valor, and we have certain medals we give out to the survivors, and it's very nice for them.
Yeah.
to
Well, you know, it's that's all the time we have. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you for having
I want to
me.
thank the viewers for watching this evening. Hope you learned something, and it's great to have you on board with the Veterans Corner. Till next week, I'm Chuck Woodin. Have a good night. Thank you.